Finally here. Let me get the light. There we go. Finally here. Batman vs. Superman and Dawn of Justice. You'll notice Mark is not with me. As I've said in one or two videos that not a lot of people have watched at the moment, so I should just say it again. Mark was unable to join me tonight. So we're seeing it tomorrow night where we'll do a spoiler review. Tonight it's just me giving my first impressions, trying to be as non-spoilerific as possible. And with that being said, what did I think of this movie that has been 3 years in the making when it was announced, and God knows how long we wanted this film? I liked it a lot. I liked it better than Man of Steel because Batman and Wonder Woman, all of them are in it. It's long. It's very long. It's 2.5 hours. This is not a quick sit. This is a slow burn. Do not expect a lot of heavy action within the first, half of the movie. The main conflict between them doesn't really set in until after the halfway point. Once you get there, and then it happens, and most of the main heavy action set pieces take place after that. But yeah, this is as I was talking to some friends of mine, they turned out to be in the theater. This feels like a comic book movie in the sense that it feels like it was ripped straight out of the graphic novels. If you look at the way it's told as a story, it feels like it was told as a graphic novel, as like The Dark Knight Returns. Now, in terms of comparing the book to this movie, the book's better. I will say that. I'm going to start right off the bat a few things I didn't like, and I'll get into more of this in the spoiler review tomorrow. But things I wasn't too amazed on, or I had issues with. The style works in a comic. It's a little clunky when you put it into a film style. Snyder did this thing where he did one scene, he shows you the aftermath of the scene, and then he shows you what happened before the scene. And he does this a couple times in here. And the first time, after the first time, I immediately got how this was going on. So I immediately picked up on how this is going to happen. But it was kind of weird and jarring in a way. The actual conflict between Batman and Superman, Batman's side of it's cool. I'm okay with Batman's side of it, of the conflict, of why this conflict is taking place between the two of them, and how it's resolved and all that. I'm fine with that, but Superman's side, I was not as keen on. And again, spoiler review, I'll get to that when I get to that. But let's just say I had issues of them going into the fight, but when the fight happened, I'm like, oh no, this is happening. I'm okay with this. This is all good. They do explain, Kryptonite, you see, is introduced. So that's how Batman is able to combat Superman. That's how that goes down. Basically, the only other real issue I had with the film was Jesse Eisenberg, but not necessarily as a negative, because I didn't have necessarily a problem with, I had a problem with him when I first first saw him in the movie. But as his character continues on, it's interesting to see where his character goes and what you see this character actually is. And it's good for the kind of character this is a very different Lex than what we normally have. He's a younger guy, and he is Fruit Loops, man. He really is fucking nuts. And that shows heavily. But I'm not certain how much I'll have to see it tomorrow again. When I see it tomorrow again, I'll have a real firm opinion of how I thought him. But really, he's my only, in terms of the acting, he's my only real issue with the film. And now, in terms of the rest of all the positives, I can say the action set pieces are amazing. To be honest, the scene you see where Batman's taking out all those guys is actually, I think, a little better than the scene that we get with him and Superman fighting. Though that's still awesome. But the context behind it kind of didn't ruin it, kind of lost a little bit of the feel for me for that scene. But the action sequence, the action set pieces are amazing. The final fight between, this is in the trailer, this is not a spoiler, the final fight between Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, and Doomsday, there's stuff ripped straight out of a comic in there, and there is There's parts of this movie I actually got. There's a part scene right in the beginning. The intro really just sets up Batman perfectly because this is like one of the minor spoilers. They do something perfect with Batman to introduce him in this film. They don't give us this 10-minute origin of his backstory. He's like, I lost my father. It's like, no, it's done like in The Incredible Hulk with Edward Norton, where basically the opening credits is the origin of Batman. That's basically it. And I dug that. And we see later on where he's in a metropolis, you see people there. There's this I actually was getting a little choked up at seeing this guy. He's talking to a friend of his, a guy he works with at their firm, and he's telling him to get out. And this is the building where Zod and Superman were fighting, where he basically sliced through with their laser beams. And we see this guy, Jack's his name, and we just see him starting to pray. There's like, oh God, oh Heavenly Father, please be merciful on my soul and all that. I'm like, dude, this guy knows he's about to fucking die. And this is Bruce's friend. Bruce is just like screaming on the phone for Jack. I'm like, dude, I'm getting a little emotional here. It's not even the first 10 minutes. Holy crap. After that, they slow the pace down a little bit and give us character. And going into the characters, I stand by Ben Affleck is right now the best Batman. It might be tied, in terms of a classical sense, it might be tied with Keaton. But if it's not tied, I think it's Ben Affleck right now as the defendant. He is dark. He is torture. He's brooding. He is dark, torture, brooding, but he is just so full of rage. Unbridled, passionate rage at Superman and just at the world in general. This is the guy who brands criminals. This is a Batman who... I'm going to save that for the spoilers. But this is a Batman who will fuck you up. Seriously, this is a Batman ripped straight out of The Dark Knight Returns. There was a scene in that fight that you see in the trailer in that warehouse. It's a warehouse that is ripped straight out of The Dark Knight Returns with Batman. I'm like, fuck yeah, man, fuck yeah, that's the Batman I wanted to see. Not only that, he plays a great Bruce Wayne. He's a socialite. He has great chemistry. I mean, when they're all on screen, he has great chemistry with Superman, with Henry Cavill, with even Lois Lane, with Martha Kent. He has a scene with Martha Kent and Wonder Woman. He's got great chemistry with all of them. Ben Affleck is probably one of the standout things in this movie. And I think, there's going to be haters anyway, but this shuts up a lot of the Ben Affleck haters. Henry Cavill, I liked his actual arc in this story because where the conflict happens, he's coerced in the fighting Batman, as Batman's kind of coerced in the fighting him. But we see, because the world's wrestling with the hero it needs. That's even in the summary of the movie, in that Superman's wrestling with, should he be Superman or not? Is he causing more harm than good? And what is it? Batman has a line that's actually not, I can spoil this line because it's actually in a TV spot. It's like, you're not brave, men are brave. And he makes a fair point, because Superman normally could just beat up the enemy and all that, and it's not a big issue. But we see that, no, he's got to wrestle with this shit. And that one part of this character I didn't like is that it doesn't seem like killing Zod, which, from what I understand, the events of Man of Steel were supposed to play on him a little bit in this movie, didn't, the fact he had to kill Zod in the last movie didn't seem to affect him in how we thought it might affect him, but at the same time, we see him understanding the sacrifices that men have to make sometimes, and he makes sacrifices in this movie. And there are several scenes with Superman, again, ripped straight out of the comics. One from The Dark Knight Returns. Another I will wait till the spoiler review to talk about. Yeah. Amy Adams was perfectly serviceable as Lois Lane. But that being said, Lois was kind of... They introduced the characters, the other ones, Cyborg, Aquaman, Flash, in a way I really like. They introduced in the way I really like. They really are just, those three really are just brief cameos. With the exception of the Flash. Now, it was revealed that dream sequence you see, that nightmare sequence of the parademons, the Doomsday symbol, Darkseid symbol, is in fact the dream, like a dream sequence that the Flash is actually giving to Batman. I will at least spoil that in the movies, that it's Flash. And when that happened, I'm like, okay, so this is the Flash doing this, and we essentially see the Flash doing this. And it's like, Lois Lane's the key. He's like, wait, did I ride too soon? All right, I'll just go, and then he disappears. But Lois Lane's not the key, folks. Lois Lane Amy Adams is fine as the character, and she does good. She's got good scenes. She's especially got some good scenes with Martha Kent and Lawrence Fishburne, and the Colonel comes back from the original one. I can't remember the actor's name off the top of my head, and Henry Cavill obviously, but their character didn't serve a point really. She's the key. She actually makes things worse by getting rid of something that would be key to stopping Doomsday. I'm like, oh, why? Because now I hold on. Sorry, I just want to get my light going. Now you just made this a lot worse. So I mean, she's good, but she, didn't need to. She didn't serve a real purpose apart from grounding Superman there. His reason for being there. Now, one standout guy I want to talk about is not a superhero at all, kind of. He's Morpheus. It's Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne was actually a good deal of the comic relief in this movie. Lawrence Fishburne's hilarious. He's got a few good moments, actual good humor, and just the way he's interacting. It's good. Some good one-liners, some good lines are given in the script, man. I dug Lawrence Fishburne. But now I gotta talk about Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot. Now, Gal Gadot, a lot of people were like, oh, Gal Gadot, she'll do good. But a lot of people were up in arms. She's not a very strong actress right now. She's only really kind of gotten into her acting career. A lot of people were complaining about her size, but I didn't care about that. She served in the military 2 years. She could bulk up. But I mean, a lot of people, John Campea from AMC Movie Talk, or now Collider Movie Talk, expressed his deep concern with Wonder Woman, with Gal Gadot. Several other, I think Jeremy Jahns expressed it. A lot of people I go to for, trailers and things like that, and movie news, reviews. People I trust, respect for their opinion. I value their opinion. Were worried about Wonder Woman. And I really wasn't going into the movie. Because she auditioned next to Ben Affleck. And you can tell that in the movie, because they interact quite a bit. In fact, I'm guessing we might actually get maybe a relationship with them at some point in the future. From the way that their chemistry worked, because they actually had really good chemistry with each other. That scene you see in the last trailer they did, where it's just like, oh, you never went. Well, I don't think you've ever met a woman like me. She's got more lines in there and things like that. But her lines, she doesn't have a lot of lines, but she's not a main focus of the movie. But she's a integral part of the movie at the same time. She's there. She's Wonder Woman. Which, by the way, when she showed up for the Doomsday fight, people really got to say, oh yeah. We're like, okay, yeah, I'm kind of jacked for this too. That's one note though. No one really was doing any sort of cheering in the theater for this screen. And this is the pre-screening night. This is the night before the actual release. No one was actually, there was no moments where people actually cheered, but to be fair, it's not like the Avengers where you're like, oh my God, epic. I'm like, this is an intellectual movie on many regards. This is a movie where you actually have to pay attention and think about what's going on. So you don't just say, oh my God, the Avengers just assembled. Oh, just smashed Thor. Woo! It's like, no, excuse me. No, this is a movie where you actually got to pay attention to what's going on. Be like, oh no, there's heavy shit. There's people, accountability needs to happen right now. So, and oh crap, don't tell I got rid of I did. Oh, there goes my light. 1 second. Come on. There we go. I knew I got up and forgot something. I forgot my notepad and the trailers. Anyway, I'll do it off memory. I think I can remember all the ones I got. So, yeah, but no, Gal Gadot is a good Wonder Woman. Now, a couple of her lines are a little wooden, but not terribly wooden. I heard when Campea talked about it on Collider, and on his channel, He said that with the some of her lines are one, but some of them deliver really good. The scenes with Ben Affleck are delivered really well. The scenes in the Doomsday fight where she speaks is they're more serviceable than what I mean. They're a little stale, but given the scenario she's in, they could have been delivered worse. And honestly, she doesn't have a lot of lines because she's not a main part of the movie. But when she's just facially acting, not speaking, no, she's a convincing actress. I think she did really well. And of course, when she shows up with Wonder Woman, she's badass as hell. Yeah, really, my only issues with this movie stem from the choppy editing. The movie's 2.5 hours. There's a 3.5 hour director's cut that's going to be R-rated on Blu-ray. I think you actually could have shaved maybe 15 minutes off this movie. It would not have hurt the movie that much. And that weird storytelling style where it's like, I'm going to show you the aftermath, I'm going to show you what happened. And Jesse Eisenberg and the conflict of why these two are actually fighting. It does subtract them from the movie for me a little bit, especially when it's a 2.5 hour long movie. That does subtract a bit. But overall, I mean, I would not say I love this. I take that back. I think I love this second half of the movie a great deal. The first half of the movie is perfectly fine, but the second half of the movie is really where the movie picks up speed, and I loved the last half of the movie. In fact, I'd say I love, basically, once the real fight takes place, everything after the fight, I'm like, no, I'm loving everything. I'm eating this up now. Beforehand, it's just a bit slower, but not in a terrible way, not in a bad way. Just, it does take a while. If you're sitting through there feeling bored, just wait a minute, or wait a little while. Trust me, it will pick up. In terms of the rating I'll give it, I gotta think of that just a little bit. And I may change my rating tomorrow after I see the movie again. But let's go to trailers now. From what I can remember, I can remember 3 new trailers that I got. To get a couple out of the way right now, the Central Intelligence trailer, Kevin Hart, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, looks okay. I actually did laugh a little bit in the trailer, along with other people. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 2 Out of the Shadows trailer, that's done with that trailer. I'll see the movie because I gotta see the movie and I saw the last one, but I'm done with that trailer. Yeah, apart from that, I think we got one other one that I've already gotten that I can't remember off the top of my head. But we got the Lego Batman movie, which looks fun. It does. I didn't do a trailer reaction because it came out today, and before I could do a reaction, I had to go to work. But yeah, it's my reaction. It looks funny. It's bad. Oh, computer, I'm home. It's like, welcome home. Oh, yes, just save the day again. Boss or bisque. just see Batman in a robe with his helmet. Just as doot, doot, doot. No, not 20 minutes. 2 minutes. I was just eating his lobster. Oh, yes, I deserve this. I've earned this. I think that's going to be a fun movie. Free State of Jones. Now, this is based off true events. I can't remember what exactly the story is, but it is based off true events of these farmers who fought for the Free State of Jones in the South against the Confederates, I'm pretty certain. And Matthew McConaughey's the lead. It looks good. I mean, it looks really good. You know, want to add another Oscar on your mantle there, McConaughey? You go right ahead. Because this looks like it's possibly Oscar baiting again. And it looks like a good movie overall, too. So there was that. There was Lego Batman. Oh, two other new ones. Deepwater Horizon with Mark Wahlberg. Based off true story about a horrible oil rig accident. And that looks emotionally intense. And I'm running low on time, so I better hurry this up. But the way they're showing this horrible accident about to happen is his daughter's explaining what her dad does for the presentation. She's using it as their in the kitchen with a soda can, shakes it up, uses like honey for like we're gonna get mud and stuff like that. And then the dinosaurs come up and stuff like that because it used to be dinosaurs, the oil. And then it spills over. We see that, and then spills over, and we see the accident, all the shit happening. I'm like, whoa. I had some guys in the row in front of me kind of be dicks about it. But I'm like, dude, shut up! It's based off a true story. I actually like the way they're using the kid as an explanation for what's happening. So shut up. Last one, the new trailer for Huntsman: Winter's War. The prequel, I thought it was a sequel. It turns out it's a prequel. With Emily Blunt, Charlize Theron, and Jessica Chastain, and Chris Helmsworth. It looks good. It looks a lot better than the last trailer they gave. He's actually going to be fighting the Wicked Witch. That's going to be fun. But because it's a prequel, I am wondering what the fucking history is to go into Snow White. Snow White. Yeah. Snow White and the Husband, sorry. Yeah, I'm wondering what the history and background, how is this going to lead up to the other one? That's what I'm wondering. Because seriously, I have some questions on that. But it looks good. I'm going to enjoy it, I think. So, yeah, if you enjoyed the last one, I think you'll enjoy this one even more. So, final rating. Ooh. The editing is an issue. Jesse Eisenberg, I'm still weird on. That storytelling plot point in the conflict. 8.5. I'm going 8.5 out of 10. This is a solid film. If you are interested to see it, you're going to go see it. And if you haven't expressed deep interest, I still say go see this movie. This is a movie that needs to be seen on the big screen if you're going to see it. Don't rent this at home. Don't miss it in the theater and rent it at home. No, go see this movie on screen and the big screen and in IMAX if you can, because I've heard brilliant things about the IMAX version of this. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. I'll be back tomorrow with a spoiler edition of this. And trust me, it's probably going to be a lower quality video in terms of the clarity, because I'm going to have to make this a long ass video, I think. So thanks for watching. See you next time, and have a good night, folks. Wait a minute. There we go.